Hey everyone, welcome back to another explainer. Look, today we're tackling a super practical, absolutely game-changing topic. We are going to walk through exactly how to install a full-blown Linux operating system on an external drive. And the best part, we're doing it without risking a single hair on your main Windows setup's head. If you're into structured learning and just want a completely straightforward, step-by-step guide to safely expanding your tech skills, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let me guess, you really want to try Linux, but you're just terrified of breaking your primary Windows computer. Honestly, that fear is completely justified. Your PC holds your work, your games, your entire digital life. You absolutely do not want a single misplaced click wiping out your entire C drive. But what if I told you there's actually a perfect way to do a real, full installation of Linux, not just one of those temporary live sessions, without changing a single thing on your Windows PC? See, the traditional internal dual boot method is just risky. You have to partition your internal hard drive, fight with the Windows boot manager, and basically cross your fingers hoping a random Windows update doesn't completely wipe out your Linux partition. Our clever solution totally avoids all of that. We're talking about a safe external SSD. The whole operating system lives completely outside your computer. When you want Linux, you literally just plug it into a USB port and boot up. When you want Windows back, you unplug the drive, and your PC is exactly as it's always been. Zero interference whatsoever. All right, here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1, the zero-risk Linux solution. 2, gathering your essential gear. 3, prepping your PC. 4, the crucial installation steps. And 5, your new portable Linux experience. Okay, jumping right into section 1, the zero-risk Linux solution and why we're going with Linux Mint. So out of all the different versions of Linux out there, Linux Mint is widely considered one of the absolute best for new users. We're specifically going to use the Cinnamon edition because its desktop layout acts so much like Windows. You know, the start menu, the taskbar, it all feels super familiar right off the bat. Plus, it has a really straightforward software manager. You definitely don't need a computer science degree or crazy terminal skills to make this work. Everything just kind of functions right out of the box. Moving on to section 2, let's gather your essential gear. Here's what you actually need. Okay, you're going to need 3 things. First up, your regular Windows PC or laptop, connected to the internet. Second, and this is super important, a proper external solid-state drive, or SSD. Technically, yeah, you could use a standard little USB flash drive, but I strongly encourage you not to. Flash drives are way slower and they just aren't built to constantly run an entire operating system. Honestly, you'd probably just burn the thing out. You want a real external SSD. Think something like a 256GB Patriot drive in a basic USB 3 enclosure, or maybe an NVMe drive in a Sabrent enclosure, which will only run you about $15 or $20. And finally, you just need a standard 8GB USB thumb drive. We're only using this little guy temporarily just to run the Linux installer. Right, let's get the software prepped. Step 1, head over to linuxmint.com and grab the Cinnamon Edition download. Pro tip, pick a local download mirror so it goes a lot faster. Step 2, you'll want to download a fantastic free application called Balena Etcher for Windows. And step 3, plug in that small 8GB thumb drive. Open up Balena Etcher, select the Linux Mint file you literally just downloaded, and just hit Flash. The whole thing takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Etcher is basically converting that file into bootable media right on your thumb drive. All right, section 3, prepping your PC before you actually boot anything. So, before we can boot from our newly minted USB, we have to tweak a couple of settings in your computer's BIOS. First, turn Fast Boot off. This is incredibly important because Fast Boot basically puts your PC into a state of hibernation, and it completely skips checking the USB ports for new operating systems. If you leave it on, you'll literally never be able to load Linux. Second, turn Secure Boot off. Now, technically, you can install Linux with Secure Boot turned on, but it adds all these extra, totally unnecessary steps. Turning it off just makes your life so much easier. Now, please pay close attention to this next part. If you have Secure Boot on right now, and you're using BitLocker to encrypt your Windows drives, you absolutely must turn off BitLocker and fully decrypt your files before you turn off Secure Boot. Seriously? If you skip that, you're going to lock yourself out and spend hours hunting down your BitLocker recovery key. Okay, once your BIOS is all prepped, plug in both your external SSD and your installer thumb drive and restart your PC. Now, normally, your computer's going to ignore the USBs and just happily boot straight into Windows. To stop that, you've got to hijack the boot menu. As soon as your screen goes black during the restart, start repeatedly pressing your boot menu key. Depending on who made your computer, it's usually going to be F12, F11, F10, F8, or the escape key. That'll pop up a menu where you can tell the PC, hey, look at the thumb drive first. Select it, and just like that, you are booting into the Linux Mint Live desktop for the very first time. Which brings us to Section 4, the crucial installation steps. Basically, the danger zone. So once you're inside Linux Mint running off that thumb drive, you'll see an Install Linux Mint icon right on the desktop. Give that a click. You'll click through some basic language and keyboard settings until you land on a screen that says Installation Type. Stop right here. This is where you need to be super careful. You absolutely must choose the option that says something else. Do not, whatever you do, click Install alongside Windows or Erase Disk. Selecting something else stops the installer from making any automatic, potentially disastrous decisions. It gives you complete 100% manual control. And honestly, that is the only way we can guarantee that Linux goes onto the external SSD and doesn't accidentally completely wipe out your Windows drive. Okay, in that something else menu, you need to find your external drive. You can usually spot it pretty easily by looking at its total size, like 256 gigabytes, for example. Click the free space right under that specific drive and hit the little plus button to create 3 distinct partitions. First up, a 512 megabyte EFI boot partition. Think of this as the instructions your computer needs to actually start the system. Second, you're going to make your root partition. Format this as ext4, which is just the standard way Linux formats files, and mount it at the /. Give this about 100,000 megabytes, which is essentially 100 gigabytes. This is where the actual operating system is going to live. And third, the home partition. Just leave the size as is so it uses whatever free space you have left. Format it as ext4 again and mount it at /home. Now you might be wondering, why do we bother with that last step? Well, the home partition is basically the Linux version of your users folder in Windows. By putting this on its own totally separate partition away from the main operating system files, you're actually protecting all your personal data. Let's say a year from now you want to completely reinstall Linux, or maybe you want to try a completely different Linux flavor altogether. Because of how we set this up, you can completely wipe the root partition without touching a single one of your personal videos, songs, or documents stored in the home folder. It is such a smart, safe way to build your setup from day one. Okay, look down at the bottom of that exact same partitioning window. You'll see a drop-down menu labeled Device for Bootloader Installation. You absolutely must set this to your external SSD. I cannot stress this enough. This is literally the entire secret to making this a zero-risk install. The whole reason we're doing this manual setup is because Windows updates are notoriously bad at overwriting internal Linux bootloaders if they happen to share the same drive, completely breaking your setup. By forcing the boot instructions onto the external drive exclusively, your internal Windows boot folder stays completely 100% untouched. Once you've triple-checked that, go ahead and hit Install Now, create a username and password, and just let it do its thing. Moving right along to Section 5, your portable Linux experience and a few quick post-install steps. All right, so you've installed it, and you're finally hitting the actual desktop. A friendly welcome screen is going to pop up and guide you through some super quick housekeeping. Step 1, definitely launch the driver manager. It does all the heavy lifting for you, automatically finding and installing things like your NVIDIA graphics drivers or specific Wi-Fi adapters. Step 2, pop open the Update Manager and switch to Local Mirrors. Basically, this just connects you to download servers that are geographically closer to your house, which makes all your software updates drastically faster. And Step 3, go ahead and install all those pending system updates and give your PC one final reboot. Oh, and by the way, you can safely yank out that small 8GB installer thumb drive now. You're totally done with it. And now, my friends, for the ultimate payoff. Go ahead and shut the computer down entirely. Now, take your shiny new external Linux SSD and unplug it directly from the USB port. Just set it right there on your desk. Turn your computer back on without pressing any keys whatsoever. And guess what happens? It boots straight up into Windows exactly the way you left it. Without that external drive plugged in, your computer literally has no idea that Linux even exists. Not a single file on your internal Windows hard drive was touched. It is the absolute perfect, zero-risk, dual-life setup. So you now have a full, incredibly robust Linux operating system living right there in your pocket. Want to dive in and learn all about open source tech? Plug it in, hit your boot menu key, and you're off. Feel like gaming on Windows for the night? Unplug it and boot normally. You are totally in control. So plugged in or unplugged, which operating system will you boot today? Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this